Our discussion for today is still about business taxes. So last meeting we studied value-added tax or VAT. Today naman class, we will study the second type of business tax, which is other percentage taxes or OPT. Now class, if you remember, last meeting we also learned that unless exempt ka from business taxes, you are either subject to VAT or OPT. Hindi pwedeng sabay yun, okay? It's either subject to VAT or OPT. Now class, other percentage taxes, makikita natin siya under the tax code, starting section 116 all the way to section 127. So there's a total of 12 sections, okay? And ang magiging diskarte natin for today, iisa-isayin natin yung per section and then i-highlight ko sa inyo class yung mga key points to remember, okay? Now, yung concept of OPT is merong mga specific types of businesses and activities na si tax code merong specific business tax rates para sa kanila. Alright? Makikita natin yan sa sections 116 to 127. And OPT, just like VAT, is an example of an indirect tax. Ibig sabihin class, passed on yan sa buyers. So tayo as buyers or consumers, tayo yung nag-shoulder ng other percentage taxes. Alright? Now, open your G-sheets. From time to time, magre-refer tayo dito class. So again, isa-isayin lang natin per section and then later, magsasagot tayo ng handouts. Okay, so let's start with number 1, persons exempt from VAT. So makikita natin to class under section 116. So ito yung rules natin. Tignan mo muna yung annual gross sales receipts. If it's 3 million or below, subject yan to OPT. Okay? If the annual gross sales receipts exceed 3 million, we know subject yan sa VAT. Alright? Because alam natin class na yung VAT threshold is 3 million. So once mag-exceed ka dyan, VATable ka na. Tama? Now, last meeting class, natutunan din natin na may tinatawag tayo ng optional or voluntary registration. Wherein, kahit subject ka sa OPT, yung annual gross sales receipts mo, 3 million or below, pwede ka pa rin magpa-register for VAT. So, ibig sabihin class, subject lang yan to OPT unless VAT registered. Okay? Unless VAT registered. So, ulitin ko, if your annual gross sales or receipts amount to 3 million or below, ang general rule, OPT yan. Except VAT registered. Kasi pag VAT registered ka, regardless yung amount ng GSR mo or gross sales or receipts, lagi kang VATable. Got it? Ang tawag natin dito class, ito yung optional or voluntary VAT registration. Tama? Now, pag naman sobra ka ng 3 million, ang tawag natin dyan class, mandatory registration. Alam nyo na yan from last meeting. Okay, sir, ano yung tax rate na gagamitin natin dyan? Well, ito yung magiging guide mo dyan class. No? Remember yung dalawang dates natin. It's July 1, 2020 and June 30, 2023. Ilang years yan? 3 years. Okay, 3 years yan. So before July 1, 2020, it's 3%. From July 1, 2020 to June 30, 2023, 3 years, 1% yan. Starting July 1, 2023, back to 3%. So 3%, 1%, 3%. Okay, sir, parang familiar yan. Actually, na-discuss natin yung class sa individuals. Okay? Yung diniscuss natin yung difference ng create and train. So actually, under create yan, yung 1% na yan. Because, again, ang objective yan is para sa mga businesses na makarecover sila from the pandemic. So binigyan sila ng tax code natin, BIR, ng 3 years para makarecover basically. Alright? Sige. Lagi mo tatandaan to in the board exam, July 1, 2020 and June 30, 2023. Now class, ito yung mga exempt from OPT. Dito ka nalagay. Exempt from OPT. Okay, number 1 is cooperatives. Now we know, alam nyo rin sa RFBT na marami nagtatayo ng cooperatives because of the incentive. So alam natin, hindi sila nagbabayad ng income tax and also OPT, hindi rin sila liable dyan. Number 2 is those individuals availing of the 8% income tax rate option. Actually, class, na-discuss natin ito before sa individuals. Pag nag-8% ka, ano yung naalala nyo doon? Hindi ka na magbabayad separately ng business tax. Ito yun, yung OPT. So actually, class, yung 8% na yan, pwede mo i-break down into 2. Meron diyang 5% component for the income tax. And yung 3% na yan is for the business tax or the OPT. Okay, so again, pag nag-avail ka ng 8% income tax rate option, hindi ka na magbabayad ng 3% OPT. Bakit? Kasi nandito na yan sa 8%. Alright? Number 3, those that are marginal income earners. Okay, sir, sino yung mga marginal income earners? Well, pag nag-earn ka ng 100,000 or below per year, ang tawag sa'yo, marginal income earner. Hindi ka liable to OPT. Okay? And number 4 class, those who are VAT registered. Again, may dalawang klaseng VAT registration. Optional, this one. Again, pag nag-optional VAT registration ka, subject ka na to VAT regardless of your annual GSR. Pag naman, yung isa, yung mandatory registration, kapag sumabra ka ng 3 million, VAT registered ka na mandatorily, therefore, hindi ka nang babayad ng OPT. Always remember, it's either subject ka to VAT or OPT. Okay? So yun tatanda mo sa section 116. Let's go to section 117. So sulat niyo muna class. Domestic carriers Okay, domestic carriers and keepers of garages. Domestic carriers and keepers of garages under section 117. Okay, now, start mo tayo. Sir, ano ibig sabihin ng keepers of garages? Basically, class, it's any person na nagpo-provide ng services for motor vehicles. Okay? Any person providing services for motor vehicles. Examples. For example, class, mga repair shops. Okay? Gasoline stations. What else? Yung mga towing companies. Okay? And yung may mga parking spaces na nag-charge ng parking fees. Ayan, example siya ng keepers of garages. So class, ayoko naman i-memorize mo lang. Pag nabasa ng keepers of garages, ganitong tax rate. Hindi ka na dapat alam mo kung ano ibig sabihin nila. Again, pag keepers of garages, basically, sila yung nagpo-provide ng services for motor vehicles. At ang double examples natin, repair shops, gasoline stations, towing companies, parking spaces. Okay, dito naman tayo, domestic carriers. Class, take note of the word domestic. Domestic hindi international. Okay? Examples yan, mga public buses. Okay, what else? Taxis, jeepneys, Grab, kasama din dyan. FX, car for rent. For example, class, yung family nyo nag-rent ng car. Mag-out of town kayo, kaya pupunta kayo sa airport. Yung car for rent na yan, domestic carrier yan. Okay? So basically, class, ito yung mga public utility vehicles. Okay? PUVs. Now, domestic carriers, tandaan yung examples natin, and keepers of garages, ayan, examples natin, they are subject to 3% common carriers tax or CCT. Yun ang tatawag natin 3% CCT. Okay. Take note, class, na yung 3% CCT na yan, magkaiba yan dito sa Section 116. Okay? Sir, kasi sa Section 116, 3%, naging 1%, naging 3%. Under Create Law. Sir, ganun din ba sa Section 117? No. Okay? Yung Create Law na naging 1%, dito lang applicable sa 116 yun. Baka malito ka sa 116 lang yun. Sa 117, yung 3% CCT, laging 3% yan. Kahit dati 3% yan. Sa Train Law, 3%. Create, 3%. Hindi nagbago yan. Right? So, magkaiba yung 117 sa 116. Baka malito ka kasi parehong 3%. Also, class, take note na for domestic carriers and keepers of garages, ang liable dyan is the operator, okay, the lessor, or the contractor. Tandaan mo, class, hindi yung driver yung liable dito. Yung operator, yung lessor, or contractor. Got it? Okay. Sige. Now, class, ito yung tatandaan mo for Section 117. Tingnan mo kung anong klaseng route yan. Right? Dalawa lang yan. Pwedeng domestic or international. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, yung domestic, from domestic to domestic. Alright? Yung international naman, kasi domestic carriers pinag-uusapan natin. Yung international naman, yung route mo is from domestic to international. Okay? Now, ano ba yung mode of transportation? Kapag domestic to domestic, well, pwedeng through land yan. Land, air, or sea. Tama? Ngayon, pag domestic to international, syempre, air or sea lang yan. Hindi pwedeng land. Hindi ka man makapunta na abroad pag land yung ginamit mo. Tama? So, ayan. Land, air, sea, air and sea. Okay? Now, kapag land, pwedeng ang tina-transport mo passengers or persons. Okay? P stands for passengers or persons, tao. Or pwede rin na goods, letter G, goods, cargoes, letter C, or mails, letter M. Goods, cargoes, mails. Okay? So, isa-isay natin. Sa air, pwede rin ganyan, passengers or persons, goods, cargoes, mails. Pag C, pwede persons, goods, cargoes, mails. Pag international, pag sama-samahin natin, passengers, goods, cargoes, mails. Okay, so gets? Alright, now, tandaan mo ito, class. Pag land na passengers or pag land na persons, subject ka dyan sa 3% CCT. Ito yung pinag-uusapan natin. Ito, di ba? Ano ba yung land na persons? Ayun, buses, taxis, jeep, grab, FX. Di ba? Nagta-transport ka through land, ang tina-transport ng passengers. 3% CCT. Ito yung pinag-uusapan natin. Okay? Na land, persons. Now, class, for the rest of this, domestic, tandaan mo, ito, class, it's either VAT ka or Section 116. Land na GCM, Air Sea, whether persons, goods, cargoes, mails, subject ka to VAT na 12% or 116. Okay? Now, class, syempre, sir, ano yun? VAT or 116? Depende sa annual gross sales receipts mo. Pag more than 3M, VAT ka. Okay? Pag 3M or below, 116 ka. Gets? Unless, VAT registered ka. Now, okay na tayo dyan. Mamaya, bigyan ko ng examples. Pag Air and Sea naman, class, ganito lang tatandaan mo dyan. Kapag Philippines to abroad and abroad to Philippines. Okay? Kasi international Tama? Pwedeng papunta sa abroad or pabalik dito. Pag Philippines to abroad, para kang nag-e-export. Okay? Therefore, subject ka dyan sa 0% VAT. Zero rated transaction. Tama? Pag abroad to Philippines, pabalik sa atin, exempt yan. Bakit sir? Kasi earned outside the Philippines yan. Tama? Hindi naman nag-originate sa Philippines eh. Pag nag-originate abroad, papunta dito, exempt yan. Got it? Okay. So now, nabigay tayo ng example. Sir, ano yung example ng domestic passengers or land? For example, guys, mga Victory Liner. Okay, Victory Liner, ano pa? DLTB. Ayan, yung mga sumasakay sa Cubao dyan. 5-star. Mga buses na alam natin. Victory Liner, DLTB, 5-star. Yun. 3% CCT yan. Ano naman yung land na goods cargos mails? JNT. Okay, JRS. Ayan, mga nag-order kayo sa Shopee. Ayan yung mga dumadating sa inyo, tama? Ano pa? Lala Move. Transportify, Mr. Speedy, Ninja Van. Ayan yung mga delivery services. Ayan yung delivery nila. Goods, cargos, mails. Subject yan sa Vatable sila or 116. Air naman class, andyan yung Cebu Pacific. Okay, Cebu Pac, Philippine Airlines. Ayan siya, yun yung air. Yung sea naman, anong magandang example siya? To go. Ayan, through sea sila. Ano pa? Mga Lorenzo Shipping Lines. What else? Yung Sulpicio Lines. Ayan. Ayan yung mga sea. Got it? Okay. So ayan, tara matandaan sa section 117. Let's go to section 118, number 3. Okay, international air and shipping carriers. Okay, this is under section 118. Class, take note ha. Section 117, domestic. Section 118, international. Alright, so international, actually class, ito yung mga resident foreign corporations, RFCs that operate in the Philippines and transport passengers, goods, cargos, and mails. Okay, so class, naalala niyo pa ba yung mga international carriers na inaral natin sa income tax? Naalala niyo yung 2.5% of the gross Philippine billings? Naalala niyo yan? Yun yung income tax nila. So ngayon, yung mga international carriers na yan, yung income tax nila is 2.5%, meron din silang 3% na CCT, Common Carriers Tax. Pareho sila. Pareho silang 3% CCT. Ito yung business tax nila, and just to recall, meron silang 2.5% on the gross Philippine billings. Ito naman yung income tax nila. Got it? Okay, now, sir, ano mga examples ng mga international carriers? For example, guys, AirAsia. AirAsia, ano pa, Jetstar, okay, Qatar Airways, Korean Air, etc. Yan yung mga international carriers. Class, hindi kasama dyan yung PAL sa Cebu Pacific, ha? Dito siya. Domestic yan. Okay? So, pinag-uusapan natin dito, mga international air and shipping. Sa shipping naman, class, ang pwedeng ibigay ng example sa inyo dyan, yung Dole. Okay? Yung Dole Philippines. Yung sa mga pineapple juice, okay? Dole Philippines. Ayan, meron sariling ano yan. May sariling carrier yan. Mga shipping carriers yan. Okay? Now, take note, class, na ito, titignan mo yung G-sheets natin. By the way, class, yung dito pala, no? Nilagay ko na rin dito yung minimum quarterly gross receipts. Ganito kasi yan. FYI na lang to. Balik muna tayo sa number 2. Doon sa G-sheets natin, nalagay dyan, minimum quarterly gross receipts. Hindi mo kailangan tandaan yan. Pinakita ko lang na may minimum amounts. No? So basically, ang rule is minimum or yung 3%, whichever is higher, syempre. Kaya nga minimum eh. Pero FYI na lang yan. No? Hindi mo kailangan tandaan yan. Okay. Number 3, international air and shipping carriers doing business in the Philippines. Gross receipts and 3%. Okay, ganito klase yung tatandaan mo dyan. Tingnan mo kung ano yung route niyan. Siyempre, ang pwede mo lang gamitin dyan, air and sea. Okay, air and sea. Philippines to abroad. And abroad to Philippines. Okay? Ito naman klase yung mga rules natin dyan. Philippines to abroad, tingnan mo kung ano yung tina-transport. Passengers, goods, cargos, mails. Pag abroad to Philippines, passengers, goods, cargos, mails. Pag passengers class, Philippines to abroad, exempt yan from business tax. Okay, VAT exempt yan. Actually, class, tignan mo yung VAT exempt transaction natin, letter S. Punta ka dun sa VAT, okay, sa G-sheets natin, sa VAT. Okay, punta ka dun, class, sa VAT exempt transactions. Okay, VAT exempt transactions. Letter S. Kaya ako nilagay dyan. VAT exempt transactions, letter S. Nakita nyo ba dyan, class, yung transport of passengers by international carriers. Nakita nyo yan? Ayun. Transport of passengers by international carriers. Yan yung pinag-uusapan natin. So, pag ganyan, class, exempt ka from VAT. Okay? So, VAT exempt yan. Now, tignan mo dyan, ha? And, if naman, goods, cargos, or mails, dyan ka subject sa 3%. 3% CCT. So, ito yung pinag-uusapan natin. Ayun. Nakuha mo yan? Okay. Goods, cargos, or mails, 3% CCT yan. Now, class, pag abroad to Philippines, tandaan mo, nag-originate from abroad. Okay? Papunta sa Philippines. When it comes to business taxes, exempt yan. Kasi earned outside the Philippines yan. So, tandaan mo, dapat, yung pinag-uusapan natin sa section 118, originating from the Philippines. Originating from the Philippines. Again, pag passengers, exempt. Kapag goods, cargos, mails, 3% CCT. Okay? Let's go to number 4. Franchise grantees. Franchise grantees, this is section 119. Okay, so class, ito yung mga nag-o-obtain, ito yung mga required sila na meron silang congressional or the legislative franchise. Okay? Siguro, pinaka-familiar kayo dito, yung case ng ABS-CBN, di ba? Hindi na-renew yung congressional franchise ng ABS-CBN. Kasi yung mga public utility na yan, kailangan ng congressional franchise yan para makapag-operate sila. Alright? Now, pag wala sila nun, wala silang franchise, hindi sila makapag-operate. Ang pinag-uusapan natin dito, class, yun, yung mga franchise grantees. Depende yan kung anong type of public utility ka. Okay? Gas and water or radio and television. Okay? Pag gas and water ka, tandaan mo, class, liable yan sa 2% franchise tax. Franchise tax yung tawag natin doon. 2% franchise tax. Sino yung mga gas and water? For example, class, Manila Water. Okay, ano pa? Maynilad. Mga water districts. Ayan. Subject yan sa 2% franchise tax. Okay, remember that. Ngayon, class, pag radio and television naman, ganito naman yung rules natin dyan. Okay, radio and television, tignan mo yung annual gross receipts nila. If nag-exceed ng 10 million yan, subject to VAT yan. Naalala niyo yung 10 million sa discussion natin sa VAT? Ito siya. Pag hindi siya nag-exceed ng 10 million, other percentage tax. Okay, which is 3% franchise tax. Okay, 3% franchise tax. Unless VAT registered. Tama? Kasi, parang dito yan. Pag di ka nag-exceed ng 3 million, pwede ka pa rin mag-VAT register. Tama? Dito rin ganun. Pag di ka nag-exceed ng 10 million, pwede ka pa rin mag-VAT register. Pero, pag hindi, okay, ang general rule natin, 10 million or below na gross receipts, OPT ka na 3% franchise tax. Ano yung mga examples of radio and television? Well, ABS, okay, GMA, TV5, etc. Ayun, sila yung mga franchise grantees na subject to 3%. Ulitin ko, gas and water, 2%. Ito yung mga examples natin. So, class, para matandaan mo, dapat yung mga examples, dapat maalala mo din yan, okay? Para mas madaling aralin. Radio and television, 3%, ABS, GMA, TV5. Okay? Pag sumobra ka ng 10 million, vatable ka. Siyempre, pag vatable ka, we learn, pwede ka mag-claim ng input VAT. Kapag hindi ka vatable, wala kang input VAT. Tama lang? Okay. Number 5. Okay, number 5. Alright, so refer tayo sa G-sheets natin. Number 5 here is, okay, overseas dispatch. Overseas dispatch. Okay, sulat muna natin, class. Message or conversation originating from Philippines. Originating from Philippines. Okay. So, basahin natin, class. Overseas dispatch, message, or conversation. Ito yung mahalaga dyan. Originating from Philippines. So, section 119 na tayo. Section, tama? Or 120 na yan. Ito yung 119. Ito, 120 na pa tayo. Section 120. Okay. So, ganito yan, class. Bigyan ko na example. Basically, ang ibig sabihin nito, ito yung mga overseas telephone calls. Okay? Di ba? For example, class, tumawag ka sa, meron kang OFW na relatives, no? Tatay mo, nasa Saudi. Pag tumawag ka doon sa Saudi, gumamit ka ng landline o kaya cellphone. Di ba ang mahal ng charge? Tama? Pag telephone calls, tama? Because of this yun. Okay? It's because of this. Ang tawag natin dyan, overseas communications tax. Communications tax or OCT, 10% yan. Okay, so again, pag overseas dispatch, message or conversation originating from Philippines, subject yan sa 10% OCT. Alright? So ito class yung tatandaan mo dyan. Pero actually, hindi na siya masyadong applicable sa atin yun. Kasi pag may tatawagan ka, hindi gamitin mo lang Facebook Messenger o kaya Viber or Telegram or ano ba, WhatsApp or kung ano man yung ginagamit natin. Dati kasi walang ganyan. Tama? Dati, landline ang tawag mo kaya mas mahal yun. So, titignan mo pa kung pag I think dati, pag 1 minute yata, parang 20 pesos. Parang expensive dati yan. But anyway, it's because of 10% OCT. Plus, tignan mo yung communication line. Ito yung rules lang dyan. Communication line, from Philippines to Philippines, okay, so local or domestic, vatable yan. Example, Globe or Globe, tumawag ka, okay? Cellphone, ayun, si Globe, vatable yan pag domestic to domestic. Okay, within the Philippines yung tawag mo. Ngayon, class, kapag ang nangyari naman, Philippines to abroad, yun yung 10% na OCT. Kaya sabi ko dito, originating from Philippines. Ibig sabihin nun, Philippines to abroad, yun yung 10% OCT. Okay? Abroad to Philippines, exempt siya. Yun. Basta abroad to Philippines, parang yung nandito. Ito, abroad to Philippines, exempt. Meron pa yata tayo isa dito. Abroad to Philippines, exempt. Ganun din pag tumawag ka. Tinawagan ka ng tatay mo from Saudi, tinawagan ka dito, syempre, hindi ka magbabayad si Globe or si PLD, hindi mo magbabayad yan ng business tax for that call. Alright? So, ang pinag-uusapan natin, tandaan mo, class, Philippines to abroad, na 10%, yan yung subject to 10% OCT. Okay? So, that's number 5. Let's go to number 6. Nako, kailangan ko mag-erase sa board. Teka, tingnan mo muna kung ano. Class, i-retain natin to. No? I-retain natin to. So make sure na nakopy nyo yung sinulat ko sa board. Kasi tatapusin ko muna yung lecture natin before tayo magsagot ng handouts. Okay? So make sure nakopy nyo to. From time to time, sasabihin ko na mag-refer kayo sa sinulat nyo na notes. Okay? So anong section na tayo? Section 121. Malapit na class. Section 121. So ni-retain ko yung nasa left part of the board kasi dyan yung marami nalilito. Okay? So, ayan. Actually, simple lang yung topic ng OPT. No? So dapat na maintindihan mo sino yung mga subject dyan, ano yung rates. Then okay na. Let's go to section, number 6, section 121. Banks. Sulat ko muna ha. Banks. Okay, banks and non-bank financial intermediaries, okay, performing quasi-banking functions. Okay, under section 121. Functions. Okay, so let's read. Banks and non-bank financial intermediaries performing quasi-banking functions. So, divide natin into 2. Una muna, banks. Lanalan natin yan. BDO, BPI, Metrobank, Land Bank, Security Bank. Lanalan natin yung mga bangko na yan. Wala tayong problema dyan, okay? Yung mga bangko na yan, class, and yung, wala tayong problema dyan. Dito tayo, yung isa pa natin discuss. So, ano ibig sabihin ng non-bank financial intermediaries? And then, performing quasi-banking functions. Okay. Tendency ng mga students, kinakabisado lang yan o tiyatandaan lang yan. Hindi ganun, class. Dapat maintindihan natin ano ibig sabihin yan. I-define muna natin yung quasi-banking functions. Okay, ito yung definition niya. Sulat niyo muna ha. Borrowing funds from 20 or more persons or corporate lenders at any one time. Okay, so sulat mo muna, class. Ano sir, ibig sabihin ng quasi-banking functions? Borrowing funds, so borrowing from 20, ito yung mahalaga, at least 20 or more persons or corporate, pwedeng persons, pwedeng corporate, at any one time. Okay, ang pinakamagandang example ng quasi-banking function is issuance of bonds. Okay, kasi pag nag-issue ng bonds, tama, yung mga bondholders, pwedeng individuals yan, pwedeng corporations. Okay, now class, so okay na tayo dyan. Alam na natin yung quasi-banking functions. Ito yung definition niya, ito yung example niya, issuance of bonds. Now, sir, ano naman ibig sabihin ng non-bank financial intermediaries? Ito yung class, yung mga nag-i-issue ng bonds na yan. Okay? Ang nag-handle niyan sa Philippines, yung mga investment banks. Okay? Investment banks. Now, investment banks, iyan yung mga divisions or subsidiaries or arms ng mga bangko. Okay? For example, kasi BDO, meron siyang tinatawag na BDO Capital. Yan yung investment banking arm of BDO. Si BPI naman, BPI Capital. Okay? Si Metrobank naman, ang pangalan niyan is First Metro. Okay? And so on and so forth. So again, yung mga large banks na yan, meron silang separate na investment banking divisions. Okay? Iyan yung mga example ng non-bank financial intermediaries. So sila, hindi sila nagde-deposit or withdraw. Kasi iyan yung mga banking functions. Tama? Deposit, withdraw, lend, di ba? Loans. Dito, hindi. Sila yung mga investment banks. Sila yung mga nag-a-assist sa mga corporations, sa mga nag-i-issue ng bonds. Got it? Okay, yun yan. So banks, and then non-bank financial intermediaries performing quasi-banking functions. Example is issuance of bonds. Gets na? Okay. Now, sir, ano naman yung business taxes ng mga yan? Well, tanda mo lang, class, na subject sila to gross receipts tax or GRT. Gross receipts tax, tingnan natin yung GCs natin. Okay. Banks and non-bank financial intermediaries, blah, blah, blah. Letter A. Okay, iba-iba kasi yung rate dito eh. Unlike yung iba, isa lang yung rate. Dito, iba-iba. Tingnan mo, class, ha. Paano ba nag-earn yung banks? Makikita mo dyan, letter A, interest. Interest commission discount. So, interest, mag-focus ka doon. If the maturity period is 5 years or less, 5%. Okay? If the maturity period is more than 5 years, 1%. So, mas matagal yung maturity, mas mababa yung rate. Okay? Paano pa nag-earn yung banks? Through dividends. Tama? Dividend equity shares, 0% naman pag dividends. What else? Letter C, royalties, rentals, yung mga passive income ng bank, 7%. And then, net trading gains. Net trading gains, so gains minus losses, okay? 7%. So again, yung GRT natin, it's either 5%. Okay, so 5%. Sulat natin ha, 5%, meron kang 1% dyan, meron kang 0%, and meron kang 7%. So ulitin natin, yung mga bangko na yung class, interest, either 5 or 1%, dividend 0%, royalties rental 7%, and net trading gains 7%. Alright, kaya class, yung mga bangko na hindi yan subject to VAT. Okay, wala kang VAT na makikita dun sa mga binabayaran mo dyan or whatever. Subject yan sa GRT. Right? Number 7, other non-bank financial intermediaries. Okay. or institutions. Either or other institutions. Other non-bank financial intermediaries or institutions under Section 122. Sir, sino naman yan? Sila class yung mga pawn shops. Okay? Money changers. Yan. So, sino yung mga examples yan? Well, yung mga kilala natin. Meron tayong Cebuana. Okay? Luwilier. Ano pa? Tambunting Pawn Shop. What else? Palawan Pawn Shop. Villarica Pawn Shop. Okay? And so on and so forth. So, alam nyo mga yan. Ang tawag natin sa kanila, other non-bank, financial intermediaries, and institutions. Sir, saan sila subject? They are also subject to gross receipts tax. GRT. Tingnan natin dito, class. Right. So, paano sila nag-earn? Basically, through interest. Tama? So, yung interest dito, interest, commission, discounts, treated as gross income, 5%. Okay. Dito naman, if maturity period is 5 years or less, 5%. Maturity period is more than 5 years, 1%. So, yung GRT nila, it's either 5% or 1%. Gets? Ito siya. Yun. Ito rin siya. Okay? Tandaan mo lang, wala sila nito. Yung 0 and 7%. Okay, so that's section 122. Let's go to number 8. Tax on life insurance premiums. Life insurance premiums under section 123. Tandaan mo, class, ang important word dito yung life. Okay? Life insurance premiums. Basically, class, ito yung mga premiums collected by insurance companies. For example, sino yung mga insurance companies? Sun Life. Ano pa? Pru Life. Philam Life. So, point of view nila, class, ha? Point of view ng insurance companies to, okay? So, ako si insurance company, ako si Sun Life, lahat ng premium sa marireceive ko, okay? Subject yan sa ilang, ano ba yung tax rate natin dito? Tax rate natin dyan is 2%, alright? So, lagay ko dito, 2%. Now, tandaan mo, class, dalawa kasi klase yung mga insurance na yan, no? Meron tayong life and non-life. Life and non-life. Take note, ang pinag-uusapan natin sa Section 123, yung life insurance. Ano mga example niyan? For example, accident insurance, health insurance, disability, ayan, related sa health yan, or life insurance yan. Tama? Ngayon kasi may mga non-life insurance tayo. For example, bumili ka ng sasakyan, tama? Merong every year, nagbabayad ka ng insurance doon. Car insurance yun. Non-life yun kasi para sa kotse yun eh. Okay? So, car insurance, building insurance, ano pa? Let's say, mga fire insurance, o basta related sa properties, non-life yun. So, ulitin ko, dalawang klase yung insurance. Life, non-life. Pag life, 2% ka dyan. Okay? So, 2% yung tax natin dyan. Now, pag non-life naman, class, tandaan mo to, subject yan to 12% VAT. Vatable yan, mga non-life. Okay? Pag life, 2%. Pag non-life, 12% VAT. Alright? Sige. Now, FYI, class, may mga exempt dyan, ha? Ito, nilagay ko na sa G-sheets natin. Tingnan natin, class. Basahin lang natin yung mga exempt. Letter A. Premiums refund within 6 months after payment. Well, pag ni-refund mo yung premium, hindi mo talaga kinita yun. Parang sa income tax yan. Pag may ni-refund ka, hindi mo kita yun. Tama? So, hindi rin subject sa 2% yan. Right? That's letter A. B. Reinsurance premiums. Plus, ang ibig sabihin kasi ng reinsurance premiums, ganito ginagawa kasi ng ibang insurance companies. For example, si policy holder, yung kumuha ng insurance. Tama? Ako si Sun Life, no? Pag in-insure niya sa akin, okay, nagbayad siya ng premium sa akin, yung insurance contract namin, pwede ko siyang i-reinsure sa isa pang insurance company. Okay, so basically, ako sa insurance company, merong isa pang insurance company, usually yun, mga foreign companies, no? Ini-insure ko siya, okay? Kaya nakalagay, reinsurance. So yung isang insurance, so parang one insurance company insuring a policy to another insurance company. Ganun siya. So tinatransfer mo yung risk. Ulitin ko, ha? Si policy holder, nagbayad ng premium sa akin, tama? So meron ng insurance contract. Itong insurance na yan, pwede ko i-insure pa yan sa isang foreign insurance company. Reinsurance yung tawag doon. Okay? Ang ginagawa niyang class, pinapasa niya yung risk dun sa isa pang insurance company. Gets? So normal yan sa insurance industry, no? Ngayon class, yung reinsurance premiums na yun, yung transfer ko na premiums dito, hindi yun subject sa 2%. Kaya exempt siya. Letter C. Premiums from life insurance of non-residents received from abroad. Okay? Received from abroad by branch or domestic corporation. Tanda mo, pag na-earn mo abroad yan, hindi yan subject sa business tax sa Philippines. Okay? Letter D, excess of premiums on variable contracts in excess of the amounts necessary. Naalala nyo sa income tax, no? Sa gross income specifically. Pag yung binayad sa'yo, excessive, more than the amount of the premiums, yung excess nun, hindi yung subject sa income tax. In the same way, na hindi siya subject sa business tax na 2%. Premium collected by a purely cooperative company, alam natin, mga cooperatives, exempt sila. So dito rin, exempt sila. Okay, so FYI, meron tayong mga exempt na, ayan, mga insurance premiums. Okay, so that's section 123. Malapit na class. Sige, aha. Make sure, lakapin nyo to. Ito, i-raise ko ulit yan. Okay, so number, ano na tayo? Number 9. Okay, so i-raise ko muna. Okay. Sige, so section 1 to 4 na tayo. Let's go to number 9, agents of foreign insurance companies. Okay? Section 1 to 4. Ayan, agents of foreign insurance companies. So, ito naman yung class, yung premiums collected by agents of foreign insurance companies. So, maganda example dito, class. I don't know if familiar kayo, no? Ang pangalan niya is Singapore Life or Singlife. It's a foreign insurance company and recent lang siya actually nag-start na operations sa Philippines. 2020 or 2021 na siya nag-start. Kasi ang kilala natin sa Philippines, Sun Life, Philem Life, Pru Life, which is yung, kanina yung section 1, 2, 3, tama? Yung section 1, 2, 4, sila yung mga foreign insurance companies. Na, again, yung example dito is Singapore Life. Now, yung Singapore Life na yun, may mga agents yan sa Philippines, okay? Yun. Premiums collected by agents of foreign insurance companies. Ito class, about ano naman yan? Hindi to life insurance. Ito naman, referring to mga non-life. Fire insurance, marine insurance, okay? Or miscellaneous insurance, okay? So basically, non-life yan. Ulitin ko, non-life insurance premiums collected by the agents. Okay? Pag collected by the agents, tanda mo, ang rate natin dyan is 4%. Okay? 4% yan. Pero class, kapag ang ginawa, yung mismo owners of property, dumiretso siya dun sa foreign insurance company. Hindi siya dumaan sa agent. Okay? Ang business tax naman dyan is 5%. Yung OPT mo is 5%. So, ulitin ko, pinag-uusapan natin dito, fire, marine, or miscellaneous insurance, ibig sabihin, ito yung mga non-life, okay? And foreign insurance company. Again, example ko kanina, Singapore Life. The Singapore Life, isang example of a foreign insurance company. Pag dumaan ka sa agent, 4% yung OPT nila, okay? Pag dumiretso yung owner, 5%. Gets? Okay. And take note class, yung mga insurance companies in the Philippines, regulated sila by the Insurance Commission, okay? IC ang tawag natin dyan. Insurance Commission. Sige. Next nating class is number 10, amusement. Ito yung mga amusement taxes. Section 1 to 5. Okay, amusement taxes, ganito yung class. Take note na ang liable dito is the proprietor, okay, proprietor, lessee, or operator. Okay, ito class yan. Apat yan. Boxing. Actually, sinulat ko yata dito yan. Tingnan natin. Ayan, so boxing, sulat ko na dito. Professional basketball. Letter C, cockpits, cabarets, night or day clubs. So, like lang cockpits, cabarets, etc. Letter D, yung high alay and racetracking. Susulat ko dyan, ha? So, class. Okay, place for boxing exhibitions. Ilang percent yan? 10%? 10%? Actually, 10% or exempt. Kasi meron yan, later, tingnan natin yung exemption. Basketball, 15%. Okay. Cockpits, cabarets, night or day clubs, 18%. Yung mga nightclub saka day club na yan, nag-consult ako kala attorney dyan, attorney J. Kasi marami silang alam dyan eh. So kaya, examples ko later, natutunan ko lang kala attorney J yan. High alay and racetracks, 30%. Okay. Class, ito tandaan mo dyan ha. Tandaan mo, ang liable dyan is the proprietor, lessee, and operator. For example, boxing. May laban si Pacquiao dito sa Philippines. Hindi si Pacquiao yung magbabayad dito ha. Yung operator, proprietor, or lessor. For example, boxing or basketball. Let's say kinonduct sa Smart Araneta Coliseum. Smart Araneta Coliseum. Sa Cubao. Ayun. Sila yung liable dyan. Ano pa? For example, MOA Arena. Okay? Example, Philippine Arena. Ayun. Sila yung liable sa 10% or 15%. Hindi yung participants. Alright? Okay. So, cockpits, cabarets, day clubs, and nightclubs. Sabi ko kay Attorney J. Attorney, ano yung mga examples yan? Sabi niya, yung mga favorite daw niya dyan. Okay? Yung mga Pegasus. Okay? Pegasus, Palace Pool Club. Ayan. Tapos yung sa cockpits naman, ito yung mga derbies eh. No? Ito kasi yung Pegasus, ito, mga cabarets, day clubs, or nightclubs yan. Yung mga cockpits naman, actually, nandito yata sa Philippines yung pinakamalaking ganyan. No? Which is yung World Slasher Cup. Ayan. So search na lang, I think world's largest yan. Sila, subject to 18%. Malaki, no? 18%. Now, yung high alay and racetracking naman, 30%. Doon mo tayo sa racetracking. Sa racetracking, ang pinakamalaki naman class in the Philippines, yung Batangas Racing Circuit. Okay, ayan. Batangas Racing Circuit. So sila yung proprietor, lessee, and operator. Sila yung subject to 10%, 15%, 18%, and 30%. Okay? Now, sir, ano ba yung high alay na yan? Okay. Actually, class, yung high alay, lumang game na yan in the Philippines. No? Actually, no, 14th century pa lang, may high ally na. Okay? Pero ngayon, hindi tayo familiar dyan kasi actually in-stop na yan dito sa Philippines. Kung meron man ba, sobrang konti na lang. Pero to give you an idea, class, anong nangyayari sa high ally na yan? For example, ako player ako, no? Meron akong bat. Imagine baseball bat siya. Pero, di ba baseball bat, ano dyan, straight yun, tama? Pa-curve naman to. Pa-curve. Okay, yung bat ko, pa-curve. And then meron akong bola. Okay? Yung bola, lagay ko sa baseball bat, ipapabounce ko siya sa wall. Okay? So imagine natin yung bat, papabounce ko sa wall, and then yung mga kalaban ko, ang objective ko, hindi nila makatch yung bola. Okay, ganun siya. So papabounce ko sa wall, dapat malayo sa mga opponents ko. Okay, and then yun, dun may pointing system. Tapos, ayun. So sige, pataasan ng points, siya mananalo. Yun yung high ally. Okay? Ngayong class, dati, meron sikat dito sa Philippines yung Manila High Ally Building. Okay? So, dyan kinokonduct yung games na yan. Pero actually, malapit yan sa Rizal Monument. Okay? So, malapit dun yan. Pero I think, na-demolish na yata yung building na yan. Maraming naging issues din yan, no? Kaya, hindi tayo masyadong familiar sa game na yan. Pero tandaan nyo, class, parang baseball lang yan, na pinapabounce mo yung ball, tapos ang goal mo dyan, hindi mas makatch ng mga opponents mo yung bola. Okay, anyway. So, balik tayo dito, class. Sabi ko kanina, pag boxing is either 10% or exempt. May exemption tayo dyan. Okay, so tingnan mo to, class, ha? Requisites for exemption, 3. Number 1, World or Oriental Championship. Dapat championship title, yung laban, right? One of the contenders is a citizen of the Philippines. One of them. Not necessarily pareho sila. Kahit isa lang sa kanila, okay, na Filipino citizen, yun yung second requisite. And third naman, promoted by citizens of the Philippines or by a corporation association, at least 60% of the capital owned by a Filipino citizen. Okay, so yun, may 3 requisites tayo before you can be exempt. Otherwise, subject to 10% ka. Okay. Anyway, class, FYI, yung mga tatanong sa akin, okay, sabi ko dito, let's say sa boxing, again, operator, proprietorless yung liable dyan. Hindi yung mga players or hindi yung mga participants. For example, boxing, hindi si Pacquiao. Okay? Sir, bakit si Pacquiao, taxable yung mga winnings niya, pero yung mga nag-join ng Olympics, hindi taxable. Di ba? Exempt sila Heidelin Diaz, tama? Kasi ganito yan. Ganito yung rule kasi dyan. Kung naalala niyo yung discussion natin ng gross income, so on the side na to, FYI, no? Hindi naman to important sa lesson natin talaga. So sa gross income natin class, yung prizes and awards, okay, part ng gross income yan. Pero meron tiyang exemption. Dapat may 2 requirements yan. Number 1, prize is granted in a local or international sports competition. Okay? International sports competition. Ito yung first requisite, no? Before ka maging exempt. Okay? Second naman, class, yung second requisite is the competition was sanctioned by the National Sports Association or Association or NSA. Okay? So, ulitin ko. Ang general rule natin, class, lahat ng prizes and awards na yan, sabi ko tax yan. Pero meron kang 2 exemptions. Prizes granted in a local or international sports competition sanctioned by National Sports Association. Now, class, si Heidelin Diaz, okay, si Heidelin, ito si Pacquiao, tama? Alam natin, class, si Heidelin, exempt yan. Okay, lahat na panalunan niya, exempt. Si Pacquiao naman, taxable. Sir, bakit ganun? Di ba pareho lang naman sila? So sabi dito, granted in a local or international sports competition, si Heidelin sa Olympics. So international competition yan. So na-satisfy niya. Si Pacquiao, pag lumalaban siya, is nasa Las Vegas, tama? So qualified din sila sa first requisite. So second requisite, class, sanctioned by National Sports Association. Now, yung kay Heidelin Diaz na weightlifting, yung NSA niyan is, ang tawag doon is Samahang, FYI lang to, class, Samahang Weightlifting ng Pilipinas. Okay? Yan yung NSA. And yung Olympic weightlifting, covered yan by Olympic weightlifting, sulat ko lang weightlifting, ayun, covered yan by the NSA. Alright? Ngayon, class, yung boxing, so, na-meet din to, yung requisite na yan ni Heidelin. Now, si Pacquiao naman, class, yung NSA naman ng boxing, ang pangalan naman, class, is, di ko susulat, Association of Boxing Alliances in the Philippines, or ABAP. ABAP na nalagay ko. Yung ABAP, ang covered lang niya, yung mga amateur boxing. Ayun. Pero si Pacquiao kasi, syempre, yung mga competitions niya, yung mga pro boxing yan, tama? Professional fights yan. Ang covered lang ng NSA, ng boxing sa Philippines, which is the ABAP, amateur lang. So ito yung hindi na-meet ni Pacquiao. Kaya lahat ng earnings ni Pacquiao, lahat ng winnings niya, dun sa mga matches niya, taxable yan. Okay? So, tax table yung ginagamit yan. Well, syempre, since nagbabayad siya, for example, sa Las Vegas, yung binayad niya na tax doon, di ba, resident citizen si Pacquiao So, yung binayad niya na tax in Las Vegas, pwede niya i-claim as tax credits dito yan sa Philippines. Okay? But in short, ito yun, yung second requisite, yun yung very reason kung bakit taxable si Pacquiao. Anyway, so siningit ko lang, but that's amusement taxes. Ilan na lang to, class? Actually, 2 na lang. Okay, so 2 na lang. Please bear with me. Okay, so dalawang provisions, dalawang sections na lang, then okay lang tayo. Mag-break muna tayo, then we'll answer our exercises. Okay. So, sige. Alright, so let's go to tax on winnings. Section 12611, tax on winnings. Actually, class, yung tax on winnings na yan, na nasa section 126, this refers to racehorsing. Okay? Racehorsing winnings. Alright? Mga racehorses. Yan. Nag-consult ako kay Sir Lester. No? Kasi wala akong alam sa mga racehorsing. Nag-consult ako kay Sir Lester para may makapagbigay ako ng example sa inyo. Ngayon, class, yung racehorsing na yan, depende yan kung sino yung nanalo. Pag ang nanalo dyan, yung owner of the racehorse or yung nag-bet or the bettor. Okay? Dalawa pwedeng manalo. The owner or the bettor. Ngayon, class, pag owner ka, ang tax mo 10% on gross winnings. Okay? Gross gross amount. Pag naman bettor ka, depende kung anong klaseng bet yung ginawa mo. Meron kasing dalawa yan. May ordinary, merong special. Okay? Pag ordinary, 10%. Pag special, 4%. On net winnings. Yun, ito pa yung major difference yan. Kaya na gross. Pag owner, pag bettor ka, net. Okay? Ano yung net? Ano yung formula niyan, sir? Well, gross winnings. Okay? Gross winnings, this one, less cost of tickets. Yun. So pag bettor, pwede mong i-minus yung cost of tickets. Pag owner ka ng racehorse, hindi mo ma-minus yung cost of ticket. Gross winnings ka. Alright, sir, ano ba yung ordinary saka special? Well, kinonsult ko si Sir Lester, no? Kasi wala akong alam dyan, so kinonsult ko siya. Sabi niya, yung ordinary daw, ganito sa class. So letter A, dalawang klase yan, yung ordinary. Pwedeng, let's say merong 10 na racehorses, na horses, okay, participants. Pag ordinary, it's either mananalo siya, ang place mo is win, or magpa-first place yung pipiliin mong horse, okay? Or magpe-place lang siya. Pag sabing place, is either first, second, or third. Okay? So win ka, pag yung napili mong horse, okay, yung racehorse, nag-first place. Okay? Pag place naman, first, second, third. Okay? Iba yung prizes niyan. Right? Ang tawag dyan, ordinary winnings. Pag ordinary winnings, 10%. Ngayon class, may mga special, tinatawag. 4 yan. Ha? Ngayon, bigyan ko ng example para hindi nyo makalimutan. Special, meron tayong tinatawag class na double. Ayan. Pag double, yung bettor, basahin ko muna, bettor selects a number in each of the 2 consecutive races and then dapat mag-first place. Alright? So, ganito yung class. So, tataya ka, dalawang race. Race 1 and then race 2. Okay? Kasi pag ordinary, isang race lang yan. Pili ka lang, alin mo ka-first place. Alin dyan yung first and second, third place. Pag double, ganito class yan. Dalawang races consecutive yung pipiliin mo. For example, okay, pinili mo si number 5. Dapat mag-first yan. Sa race 2 naman, pinili mo sa number 6, dapat mag-first yan. Okay? So yung pipiliin mo sa 2 consecutive races, dapat mag-first place. Mananalo ka doon pag double. Gets? Okay. Ngayon, the next naman class, forecast. Pag forecast naman, 2 consecutive pa rin, 2 numbers, pipiliin mo. Okay? 2 numbers in a selected race. Okay? 2 numbers. And then dapat mag-finish yan ng first and second. Alright? So ganito class. 2 numbers in a selected race. For example, sa race 1, dalawa pipiliin mo. Okay, pipiliin ko si number 3 and pipiliin ko si number 5. Dapat yung mapili mo class, mag-first siya and mag-second siya. Ang tawag natin dyan is forecast. Isang race lang race 1 lang. Alright? Again, 2 numbers. For example, si 3 and 5, dapat mag-first and second place sila. Okay, tawag dyan forecast. Next naman is kinela. Okay, pag kinela naman, 2 numbers pipiliin mo. Okay, and then 2 races. Dapat mag-first, second siya, or second, first, in either order. Any order. Okay, ulitin ko. 2 numbers, 2 races, first and second, any order. For example, class, sa first race, ang pinili mo si 3 and 5. Nag-first and second siya. Doon naman sa second race, pinili mo si 2 and 3, nag-second and first place siya. Ayun, panalo ka dyan. Again, pag kinela, 2 numbers, 3 and 5. 2 races, race 1 and race 2. Dapat mag-first and second siya, kahit anong order. Pwede first, second, second, or first. Okay? And the last one naman, class, yung trifecta. Pag sinabing trifecta, from the word is tri, okay? Trifecta, pipili ka ng 3 numbers in a single race. So, 1 race. Okay? For example, napili mo, 4, 5, 7, dapat mag-finish sila ng first, second, and third. Alright? So, 4, 5, 7, nag-first, second, and third yan. Ang tawag dyan is trifecta. Okay? So, FYI lang to class. Hindi mo kailangan malaman yan. Hindi mo kailangan memorize yan for the CPA boards. Gusto lang kitang bigyan ng idea para hindi ka mahirapan magtandaan yung mga concepts. Okay? So, again, pag ordinary, 10%. Pag special, double, forecast, kinela, trifecta, pwede mo rin tandaan yung examples natin. 4% naman yan. Alright? Tawag natin yung special winnings. Okay. Last one na class. So, isang provision na lang. Section 126 na yan. Hanggang section 127 lang tayo. Okay. So, i-erase ko na to. Ayan, erase. And make sure nakapin nyo lahat, class. Okay, the last provision natin, number 12, is about stock transactions tax and IPO tax. Okay, section 127. So, basahin natin, class. Sa G-sheets natin, sale, barter, exchange of shares of stock listed and traded, and through the local stock exchange through the initial public offering or IPO. Now, alam natin, class, pag yung shares of stocks already listed and traded, lahat ng gains niyan, okay, net capital gains mo or net gains mo subject to stock transactions tax of 0.6% of 1%. Naalala niyo yan? Plus, naalala niyo ba yung income tax natin kapag sale of shares of stocks not listed and traded? Naalala niyo yan? Di ba 15% yung CGT? Tama, 15% capital gains tax. Pag listed and traded naman, hindi sasabi of stocks not listed and traded. Naalala niyo yan? Di ba 15% yung CGT? Tama, 15% capital gains tax. Pag listed and traded naman, hindi siya subject sa CGT. Subject siya sa other percentage tax. Ang tawag natin doon, STT. STT of 0.6% of 1%. Okay? So, yung mga nagte-trade sa inyo dyan, for example, meron kayong sa call financial, nagte-trade kayo. Di ba, pag nagbebenta ka, may charge sa'yo na 0.6% of 1%. Yun. Ibig sabihin yan. Okay? Ngayon, kasi may exception dito. No? Except, dealers, actually based on selling price. No? Hindi siya based on gains or loss. I think based on selling price lang. Alright, anyway, except dealers in securities. Okay? Pag dealers in securities, for example, class, ilan yung mga stock brokers, no? For example, Call Financial and mga Phil Stocks. Ayun, no, familiar kayo. Pero yung mga traders nyo, ayan, familiar kayo dyan. Mga BDO Securities, okay, First Metro, sila yung mga dealers in securities. So, tandaan mo, class, since dealers in securities sila, yun yung ordinary course of business nila. Therefore, subject yan sa 12% VAT. Got it? Okay. So again, pag tayo lang, hindi naman tayo dealers in securities, pag nagbenta ka niyan sa call, for example, lahat ng benta mo, no, based on selling price, STT ka, 0.6% of 1%. Pag dealer in security ka, such as this one, yan yung main line of business mo, therefore, vatable yan, 12% VAT. Okay? Right? Ang tawag natin dyan, class, ayun, stock transactions tax. Ngayon, pag IPO naman, class, initial public offering of a closely held corporation. Okay? Tandaan mo, ito already listed. Nasa Philippine Stock Exchange na yan. Ito, mag-IPO pa lang of a closely held corporation. Sir, ano ibig sabihin ng closely held? If at least 50% of the outstanding shares is owned by not more than 20 individuals. Ibig sabihin niyang, class, closely held yan. Okay? Tanda mo yan, closely held. Yung class, may tatlong stages kasi pag nag-IPO ka. Tanda mo to. Stages, tatlo yan. Meron tayong tinatawag na primary offering. Okay? Secondary offering. And yung third stage of an IPO is the follow-on, follow-through offering. Okay? Ayan. Follow-on, follow-through offering. So again, sa stages ng IPO, meron tayong primary offering, secondary offering, follow-on, follow-through offering. Pag sinabing primary offering, class, ito yung first na public offering. First public offering from unissued shares. Okay? For example, class, ano ba yung mga recently mga nag-IPO? Na, siguro nakikita nyo sa balita, no? Yung Nissin. Ayan, nag-IPO yan. Sino pa? Del Monte. Mag-IPO yan, and si Converge. Okay, so baka nakita niya sa balita. Ngayon, during IPO period, yung first time in-offer sa public, ang tawag doon, primary offering. Okay? And then naman class, pag naman secondary offering, during IPO, okay, yung shareholders, existing shareholders, sell their shares during IPO. Ang tawag doon, secondary offering. Okay? So ito class, yung first 2 stages na yan, during IPO yan. Class, usually, ang nangyayari dyan, yung mga existing shareholders, nagbebenta sila during IPO. Kasi ang tendency pag nag-IPO, tumataas yung stock price. Nag-gain sila, kaya nagbebenta sila dyan. Okay? Yun yung secondary offering. Ngayon class, itong dalawa na yan, iyan yung subject sa ilang percent tax yan. Punta natin yung G-sheets natin. Shares of stock sold through IPO, pwedeng 4%, 2%, and 1%. So lagay ko dito, pwedeng 4%, 2%, 1%. Depende sa ratio. So later, i-apply natin yung class, no? And then, pag naman follow through offering, ito yung after the listing na. After IPO na to. So ibig sabihin class, hindi na siya subject to IPO tax. Ito yung IPO tax natin. IPO tax, 4%, 2%, 1%. Not subject to IPO tax. Alright? So subject na yan sa STT. Kasi already listed na yan. Subject to STT. Okay? So ulitin ko. Sa IPO class, may 3 stages. Primary, secondary, and then yung follow-on, follow-through. Pag primary and secondary, during IPO yan. Okay? And yung IPO tax natin is either 4, 2, or 1%. Pag tapos na yung IPO, okay? Hindi na yan subject to IPO tax. Subject na yan to STT. Now class, very important. Tanda mo to ha? This one, okay? Under Bayanihan Act 2. Bayanihan Act 2. Repealed na yan. Okay? Starting September 15, 2020. Okay? Wala nang IPO tax starting September 15, 2020. So yung explain ko kanina na to, wala na yan. Under Bayanihan Act 2. Tandaan mo yung date na to, September 15, 2020. So ingat ka sa dates, okay? Pero yung STT, lagi meron yan. Okay? Hindi nagbago yan. So that's why class, pag pupunta ka dun sa sheet natin na create versus train. So punta ka dun, create versus train, dalawa lang yung changes dyan. Number 1 is yung OPT natin, dati 3% yan. Again, 1% siya, okay, from July 1, 2020 to June 30, 2023. Yung isa pa, yung shares of stock sold through IPO. Actually, hindi siya talaga under create. Under Bayanihan Act 2 yan, okay? Starting September 15, 2020, wala nang IPO tax, wala na nito. 4%, 2%, 1%. So, ingat ka na lang dun sa mga dates. Okay, so I think that's it for our discussion. Let's have a short break before we answer our exercises.